He makes his debut this week from Royal Birkdale at the Open Championship. He'll be on the course reporting during the network's nearly 50 hours of live coverage. And Bones joins us now. How nervous are you, Bones?
I'm feeling okay today, but I'll definitely be a little nervous tomorrow when we get going.
All right. How weird is it to be walking a golf course without carrying a bag?
It's extremely weird, and I caught a lot of grief from my caddy friends about wearing long pants, which is something I haven't done in a long time either.
What is your goal? What is the job? What are you going to give us that we couldn't get from another on-course reporter?
Hopefully breaking down the player-caddie dynamic a little bit, talk a little bit more about, the whole risk-reward thing and conservative play versus aggressive play. And, iron play is going to be so big this week here at Birkdale because it's a second-shot golf course. So hopefully just talking a lot about guys taking on risk and whether or not it will or won't pay off.
Was there a chance you were going to caddy in the Open Championship?
No, there wasn't. I mean, when Phil and I split, Tommy Roy from NBC got in touch pretty quickly, and I didn't have anything going on post-split with Phil, and he got in touch, and that's why I'm here. I'm really proud to be here.
You told me a while ago that you knew that there could come a day when you and Phil split up. I think 3 or 4 years ago we had the conversation, and I think we were talking about Stevie Williams and Tiger, and I said, are you prepared for a day like that? And you said you were. But in reality, were you ready for that breakup when Phil said, let's split up?
Well, it was a decision that we both came to. I wouldn't say either one of us said more than the other, hey, let's not do this. I mean, we were just talking about where we were and what was going on and came to the conclusion that it would be best if we did. So, I understand it's part of the business. I've been out here long enough. You hear these crazy stories about player-caddie hirings and firings, and anything's possible. So I was just really grateful for the time we had and for the getting to watch all his wins and the great things that went on while we were together.
How close did you ever come to getting fired before or splitting up with Phil?
Well, he could probably answer that question better than me. I mean, listen, every player-caddie relationship is going to have its peaks and valleys, and you're not, in my opinion, a very good caddy if you don't, disagree with your player when you really think you should. So, and Phil was great. Phil's not a blamer. That was the reason I was with him as long as I was, and he takes a lot of responsibility for what goes on out there. But there was never a time, prior to us splitting where I thought, oh my gosh, I may not have this guy next week.
How many times during the course of a year could you overrule Phil? Did you have like trump cards that you could play and say, did you have veto power over Phil, and how often could you use it?
I got one veto a year. So, would certainly have gladly taken a couple more, but I got one a year. I was glad to have it. A couple times tried to use it. I tried to use it at the 2002 Open over here, and he informed me they were domestic only, so that I couldn't use it out of the country. So we had a pretty good argument about that.
How many miles do you think you've walked?
Somebody told me recently that definitely have gone enough to have gone around the globe, like 1.5 times with Phil, something like that. And a buddy of mine that wore one of those step meters said that we go roughly 19 or 20,000 steps a day, 19 to 20,000 steps a day.
Did you ever get tired, like dizzy, sick?
No, well, I got really sick in Mexico this year, but that had something to do with something I ate. But
something you ate. Oh, okay.
Yeah, but no, I mean, Phil's such a great player, and you're in the game out there, and you're talking about what's going on. I mean, the rush of adrenaline you have, teeing off on Thursday at these tournaments is like nothing else.
Who's your pick to win?
Jordan Spieth's my pick to win for the reason that it's not a driver golf course. I think a guy like Dustin Johnson said he's only going to hit 3 or 4 a day. So you position yourself off the tee, and then you attack from there. And Being from Texas, Jordan's a great player in the wind, and I also think to win, you have to have a great week from 25, 30 feet, and he's about as good a putter as there is, so he would be my pick.
How are you going to feel if Phil wins?
I'm going to feel very happy for him. I'll tell you what, this is a phenomenal course for Phil. I mean, I think he said he's not hitting a driver this week. He's just going to put it in play off the tee, and he's the most underrated iron player in the game. So it wouldn't shock me at all if he had a phenomenal week here.
Have you ever muttered under your breath at Phil?
Yes. Yeah, I think every caddy that's ever picked up a bag, I don't care if it's here or at the local country club, has done that.
But give me an idea, like if he begrudging, like you want him to hit something, he doesn't want to hit it, he uses his club, and then he doesn't hit it well, and then do you mutter something under your breath at him?
No, I mean, Phil and I had a great relationship. I think it's fair to say that's why it lasted 25 years. I mean, 95 times out of 100, we were thinking the same thing. And on those occasions when we weren't, we'd talk it out and he'd make his decision. But there was not much for me to mutter about because, again, he's that golfer that takes a lot of responsibility. He's not a blamer like some guys can be. And he was, he'd say something like, oh, man, I took the club out of the bag. That's on me. And when you're working in that kind of environment as a caddy, you're extremely lucky, and the relationship's probably going to last a long time.
Explain to me how a caddy gets paid. I know it's different, but was it a lump sum and then a percentage on victories for you? Is that how it worked? I've only ever heard of one caddy in my 25 years of doing it that was paid a yearly salary. So everyone's caddies pay for their own expenses. So they're going to get, some money, each week that they caddy to hopefully, pay for their travel. And then, you're going to get a percentage of the player's earnings. And the percentages, will depend. You'll get more for a win than you will for finishing 40th. If I said you could have your career as a caddy with Phil, or you could be the 100th ranked golfer in the world. So you'd actually be playing, or you could be a caddy for 25 years for Phil Mickelson.
Yeah, that would be a no-brainer for me. I'd take the 25 years with Phil because I went to the last 22 team events, be it Ryder Cups or President's Cups. I saw some things at the Masters and the Open Championship that, I'll be thinking about a lot when I'm a very old man. And those experiences I wouldn't have as the 100th best player on the tour.
What memorabilia did you keep from your partnership with Phil?
Got some flags, from the flag sticks. That's the caddy tradition is when the player wins. Obviously, they get the trophy, and the caddy gets the flag off the flag stick off 18 green, which is really cool. And he won quite a few times, so that's a nice thing. A lot of memories, and The great thing about working for a guy like Phil is the people that you meet, and some of the relationships you form, guys I would, never expect to hang out with. That's been a great part of it also.
Did you get to wear the green jacket at all?
I have never put on the green jacket, to be honest with you. The first year he won, the first time he won in 2004, I went over to his house that night about 11 o'clock at night, and he had sweats on in the jacket, and he wasn't taking that thing off anytime soon. But I don't blame these guys. If I won that tournament, I'd be wearing it everywhere. So good for them.
Well, have fun this week. I know it'll feel a little strange, and the fact that you're going to be talking about people that you used to be in that position, but the more insight you can give us, the feel of putting us out there, I think the better it's going to be, the viewer's experience. So do your best, have fun, and, good luck.
Dan, I really appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
All right. That's Bones Mackay, Phil Mickelson's former caddy.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.